श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे। सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। विश्वेशं माधवं डुण्डिं दण्डपाणिं च भैरवं वन्दे काशीगुहां गङ्गां भवानीं मणिकर्णिकाम्। तिष्ठदंष्ट्रमहाकाय कल्पान्तधनोपम भैरवाय नमस्तुभ्यम् अनुज्ञां दातुमर्हसि। अन्नपूर्णे सदा पूर्णे शङ्करप्राणवल्लभे ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं भिक्षां देहि च पार्वती। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहं। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयोधमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। Respectful salutations to the Guru Parampara with the divine blessings of Sri Aadi Shankaracharya. We are going to discuss about the importance of the teachings of Aadi Shankara, the learnings from the life and teachings of Aadi Shankara, and the way in which the youth, particularly the mankind in general, can get the benefit from these teachings and the methods that were adopted by Jagadguru Aadi Shankara during his short span of 32 years of life. Very soon we will be fortunate to observe the Avatara Dinotsava or Jayanti of Sri Aadi Shankaracharya very soon. So this is the time for us to discuss about the teachings of Aadi Shankara. So in the next few minutes, let us understand the management perspectives that are emerging from the teachings of Aadi Shankara. Because religion, philosophy and science along with management cannot be isolated. That means one has to study and understand religion, philosophy, science and management together. So there is a need to have some kind of harmony and synchrony between these, so that we live, we feel, and we also practice balanced and ideal life. And this ideal life will be beneficial to the society. Ultimately, one has to be concerned about the benefit the society derives from that. So from that perspective, it is imperative for everybody to be a successful and a great personality from the leadership point of view. Let us understand the context first. During the 8th century approximately, the situation in our Bharatvarsha was very confusing, and the society was divided into various sects and subsects on the basis of the worship practices and the deity they believe in, the God they believe in, etc. The Hindu religion, the Hindu culture, the Sanatana Dharma, as well as the traditions were in very bad situation. At one point of time, one was getting an impression that the real tradition of Sanatana Dharma was, slowly disappearing. But thankfully, Jagadguru Aadi Shankaracharya came from Kailasa. Kailasa Shankara came as Aadi Shankara. And only because of him, the Hindu Sanatana Dharma survived, got energy, got strengthened, and fortunately, we are all Hindus even today only because of the efforts made by Jagadguru Aadi Shankara. Jagadguru Aadi Shankara, as I mentioned, the Kailasa Shankara came as Aadi Shankara, as a Jnana Avatara to protect the Sanatana Dharma, to protect the Vedic Dharma. Because Vedo Achila Dharma Moolam. Our Sanatana Dharma has Vedas as the foundation, followed by Upanishads, Vedantas, Itihasa, Purana, etc. These are all part of the ancient Vedic Sanatana Dharma literature, Sanatana Vanmaya. Adi Shankara was the only son. He lost his father during childhood. He was brought up by his mother. In fact, he was Prasada of Parameshwara. His father was Sivaguru, very great scholar, Vedic scholar, and leading a pious life according to the principles of Sanatana Dharma and Vedic Dharma from Kaladi, Agrahara in Kerala. And Adi Shankara's mother was Aryamba. Aryamba and Sivaguru were not having any children for quite a long time. Then they decided to pray for a son to Lord Shiva, and they did some Anushtana, and Shiva was very happy with the Anushtana. Shiva appeared in the dream of Sivaguru and blessed them, and Adi Shankara's father was asked a question. He was given two options. Option one, to have a son who would live for a short while, but who would be respected and who would be recognized as an authority and who would be worshipped rather by one and all. And the other option was quite contrary to that. Shivaguru opted for this option, and he said even if the son was having short life duration, it doesn't matter. He should be useful to the society, because the Samaja, Shreyas, Loka Kalyana is the ultimate objective. So, the Sri Adi Shankara was not just a man of wisdom, Tattvajnani, but he was a great expert in managing the worldly affairs. And the special qualities and attributes one can find in Jagadguru Aadi Shankaracharya include patience, getting along amicably with one and all, amicable resolution of conflicts and determination in action, and always with courage. As a result of that, one should consider Jagadguru Aadi Shankara as a brilliant leader. And apart from that, Adi Shankara was a great thinker, and he was the noblest of all the Advaitic philosophers. Advaita means there is only one thing. The Jiva and Brahma is one and only one. Jiva Brahma Aikyam. That's what Advaita tells us. And one of the most rigorous missionary leaders in our country is Adi Shankara, Jagadguru Adi Shankara? Let us understand the mission of Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara believed that the mission he was having before him to accomplish cannot be accomplished by an individual, and it cannot be sustained without the institutions of great discipline and perfect organizational structure. In line with this, Adi Shankara established mathas, monasteries. The 4 mathas were established by him. And Adi Shankara also reopened the temples and revived the practices and set up the worship systems across the country. And he also established the institutions of education. And he prescribed certain religious codes in the interest of the Sanatana Dharma. Another interesting aspect one can observe from Adi Shankara's life relates to unifying ability of Adi Shankara. He is one of the most important philosophers and religious leaders in the history of Bharat Desha and Hindu Sanatana Dharma. In fact, Adi Shankara is considered as a religious reformer and formulator and codifier of Advaita Vedanta philosophy, which is based on Upanishads. And Adi Shankara is also the most influential teacher of Advaita, school of Vedanta. And Adi Shankara also continued the tradition of Upanishads, the tradition which is based on Upanishads. In line with that, Adi Shankara came out with commentaries or bhashyam for Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutras. These 3 are known as Prasthanatrayam. So, we can get the benefit of the commentary given by Adi Shankara to Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita as well as the Brahma Sutras. Through these commentaries, the Adi Shankara provided the parameters of the Advaita thought. If one has to understand the Advaita thought, the principles of Advaita, one can refer to the commentaries given by Adi Shankara to the Prasthanatrayam. Let us understand the leadership style of Sri Adi Shankara. The leadership style adopted by him was unique, and even now in the modern world as well, it is still relevant. In our scriptures, we come across words like Acharya. Acharya is not just a Shikshak, is not just a teacher. There is no equivalent. Teacher is not the equivalent word term for Acharya. Acharya is a person who sets an example himself. And Acharya is a person who practices what he preaches. And this was his way of teaching. That's why we call him as Aadi Shankaracharya. And Adi Shankara, or we also call him as Shankara Bhagavad, he is a great thinker and is an inspired champion of the Sanatana Dharma, most inspiring personality when we are talking about the champions of Sanatana Dharma. Later on we find Swami Vivekananda in the same path. And one of the most vigorous missionaries in our country, and extraordinarily talented with organizing skills, great organizer, and far-sighted diplomat with a great vision, a courageous person. There are n number of examples from his life to explain all these qualities. Due to paucity of time, I am not getting into the specific examples. And a tireless servant of motherland, the society, with a great social responsibility. Every one of us is indebted to our motherland, Matrubhumi. So we have to serve our country, we have to serve our society, we have to serve our motherland, Matrubhumi, so that the country, the society makes progress. And Jagadguru Adi Shankara is also a selfless and unassuming person who covered the length and breadth of the country serving the motherland. And Dharma. Bhagavad Gita is an important document for us. In Bhagavad Gita, Adi Shankara Jagadguru Krishna also says that Swadharme Nidharam Sreyaha. One has to protect your own dharma. That is the message of Krishna Paramatma. And Adi Shankara followed that. And he served the Swadharma. And Adi Shankara also taught the countrymen to live up to the dignity and glory of the motherland, Bharata. And one has to observe qualities like dedication to duty, respect for learning, and analytical mind, faith in one's own self and in the Supreme, strong sense of purpose, and vision that is relevant in our times, even after thousands of years, approximately 2000 years. And the missionaries that were established by him, the mathas that were established by him, are still continuing. And they are all like lights to our society. And if you look at the influence of life and teachings of Adi Shankara, one should not forget that Adi Shankara is still a source of inspiration to modern leaders, because the life and the teachings of Adi Shankara made a leader to be a better thinker, to be a better organizer. Not only that, they also inspire the leader to be simple with immense influence, to be task oriented but human. That human touch has to be there, and to lead and to be led, to be intuitive and to be disciplined. Discipline is very important. Of late we find the society to be more indisciplined. The concept of discipline is slowly disappearing. That is not good for the society. And if you look at the life of Adi Shankara and his teachings, one should understand that the great force of divinity is within us, and through that only we are working in our respective fields. And if you look at the contribution of Adi Shankara, immense contribution was made by him, and he enriched the spiritual life of the common man, and he was instrumental in establishing the pilgrimage sites and seat of learning in 4 directions. And he also has brought in the social networking with a clear vision. And as we were discussing, Jagadguru Adi Shankara established 4 mathas, and with clear roles and responsibilities, geographical boundaries were defined, and the Veda that should be followed by that matha was also prescribed by him. In the north, we have four broad zones in India, regions in India: northern region, southern region, eastern and western. In the northern, the mutt is known as Jyoti Mutt, which was established near Badrinath, Joshi Mutt or Jyoti Mutt. The Acharya, the first Acharya for that Pitham was Sri Tottakacharya, and Atharva Veda was the Veda allotted to this mutt. In the south, we have the Sringeri Mutt, Dakshinamnaya Pitham, and Sri Sureshwaracharya was the first Pithadipati or Mathadipati of that, and the Veda was Yajurveda. In the east, we have the Govardhan Matham in Jagannath Puri. Sri Padmapadacharya was the first Acharya there, and Rigveda is the Veda. In the west, we have Dwaraka Pitham, and Sri Hastamalakacharya was the first Acharya, and Samaveda is the Veda given to them. And these Amnaya Mathas, Dakshinamnaya, Uttaramnaya, these four Amnaya Mathas, they continue to function today also, without any issue, without any constraints. And each Matha is having a head, the Shankaracharya, in the parampara of Aadi Shankara, and they are all considered as Jagadgurus or teachers of the world. They are not just teachers of Hindu society or that particular region. They are all Jagadgurus. We have only three Jagadgurus. One is Vedavyasa, the next one is Sri Krishna, first one is Sri Krishna Paramatma, the second one is Vedavyasa, third one is Aadi Shankaracharya. And subsequently, the Shankaracharyas of the four Amnaya Pithas are also considered as Jagadgurus because they are following the lineage of Jagadguru Aadi Shankaracharya. And the main objective of establishing the Pithas or Chaturamnaya Mathas was to establish a regulatory system and keep the knowledge in circulation. Knowledge dissemination, knowledge expansion should happen. That is the motto. And Jagadguru Adi Shankara also framed a governing constitution for these mathas. Shruti Sa Sabuddharanam. And through this governing constitution, the day-to-day operations of the mutt are governed. And this also provides the guidelines for the day-to-day maintenance and operational issues of the matham. And another interesting fact is that Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya also established akhadas. These are known as Dasnami. These akhadas were established to protect the Sanatana Dharma. And there are two streams of these akhadas. One is the Saiva and the other one is Vishnu. And there are 8 divisions of these akhadas with 52 subdivisions. And head of each of these akhada is known as Mahant. And there is a central body of these akhadas which is known as Sri Panch. And there is a head of this Sri Panch. He is known as Mahamandaleswar. And this Mahamandaleswar is head of the all 52 Mahants. Above all Mahamandaleswaras, region wise, there are Shankaracharyas. So the structure is, organizational structure is very clear. You have 4 Shankaracharyas with each of these Chaturamnaya Pithas, and below them you have Mahamandaleswars, and below them you have akhadas like that. Then there are divisions, 52 subdivisions like that. That was the organizational structure provided by Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya. And the all sannyasis from the lineage of Adi Shankara, the Adi Shankara Parampara, they have expertise over our ancient spiritual practices. And they all are devoting their life to protect the Sanatana Dharma. Protection of Sanatana Dharma is the mission carried out by them. And they all attained peak of spiritualism. For example, the certain structural decisions were taken by Adi Shankara with a view to protect and promote national integration. The Nambutris from Kerala, they are the Archakas, the main priest of Sri Badri Vithal temple at Badrinath. The priests from Karnataka, they are the head priests at Sri Pashupatinath temple in Nepal. Similarly, the priests from Maharashtra, they are the head priests at Rameswaram temple. Similarly, the priests from Karnataka, they are the head priest or main priest at the Kedareswar temple, Kedarnath. And this is an indication of the broad-mindedness, and the primary objective is national interest, national unity, national integration. No north, south, east, west feelings. We are all Bharatiyas. We all belong to Bharat Mata. We are all the sons and children. We are all children of Bharat Mata. And we should go beyond the regional, sectoral feelings, barriers. And in fact, Adi Shankara should be considered as a visionary. And he has the capability to transform the organization from good to great. That's why the Pithas established by him are great institutions now, very strong institutions now. And Adi Shankara initiated and participated in the philosophical discussions, the academic discussions, the scholarly discussions, the Shastra lectures. He respected his opponents, he engaged with them rather than ignoring or suppressing them, and he ended up influencing all of them, and most of them became his disciples. And he also led in the process the probable confusions in understanding the Advaita. Advaita is non-dualistic unity. There are no two things, only one. And this process has helped to make his later teachings and writings, much more easy to grasp for all the minds, irrespective of their mental capability. And if you look at the decision making power of Adi Shankara, decision making at a crucial time is a vital quality, very critical element. And from that point of view, Adi Shankara is an extraordinary example before us. And at the age of 80 years, Sri Adi Shankara enacted a Leela in his life and made the first decision of his life to become a sannyasi. This episode of the crocodile, Adi Shankara goes with his mother to Purna river to take bath. When Adi Shankara, Bala Shankara enters the river, one crocodile comes and catches him, and it was dragging him inside the river. And at that point of time, Bala Shankara tells the mother, "Oh mother, I am going to lose my life." And before that, he asked his mother to permit him to become sannyasi. She refused politely because she was alone, and Bala Shankara was the only son and only source of help and support for her. So naturally, she politely declined the request. Then this episode happened. Then she thought that if Bala Shankara becomes a sannyasi, at least his life can be saved. Even if he is not with her, even if he becomes a sannyasi, the society will get the benefit and his life can be saved. Then she gives the principle, gives the permission or approval, and then he takes manasika sannyasam, and then the crocodile leaves him. This is a leela. And that point of time, Adi Shankara decided to become a sannyasi. And he moved from Kaladi to various places, particularly the banks of Narmada river, where he met his guru and got the sannyasa diksha from him formally. But Adi Shankara was an ideal son, like Bhagavan Ram. Ramo Ratitaraputuhu. In the same way, Adi Shankara also is a great son, a loyal son, an ideal son. And Adi Shankara promised to her mother that he would come whenever she wants to see him, and particularly when she was about to leave this world, that time he said he would come. Last moment of the life. And in spite of being a sannyasi, he performed the last rites of his mother by deviating from the rule due to the reverence of his mother. That is the kind of respect and affection he was having towards his mother. And Sri Adi Shankara's patience in dealing with people is really worth following by everyone. For example, he goes to Mandana Mishra and he had Shastra Chircha with Mandana Mishra, and Mandana Mishra accepted his defeat. Then Ubhay Bharati, the Dharmapatni of Mandana Mishra, came into picture. She said, unless Adi Shankara defeats her, his victory cannot be accepted. Then Ubhay Bharati questioned Adi Shankara on matters which are not supposed to be, discussed by a sannyasi, because of certain principles that are to be followed and respected when one is in sannyasa dharma, sannyasa asrama. But still, Adi Shankara, without affecting the sannyasa asrama principles and the niyamas, he argued with Ubhay Bharati and she accepted a defeat. And another example is that Ujra Bhairavas, they asked for his head for his yajna, for his yagam, and Adi Shankara accepted that. Later on, his Sishyas saved him, particularly Padmapada and all, they saved him. And in all the cases, Adi Shankara answered the people with an understanding and great amount of patience. Let us now look into the team management related aspects. Sri Adi Shankara solved, any misunderstanding that had crept among his own disciples. We come across this kind of situations, and he amicably resolved the problems, and one should admire the capability, the skill of Adi Shankara. And when Sureshwaracharya wanted to write a commentary on the Sutra Bhashya, the other Sishyas were not in agreement with that. Then the Guru Adi Shankara asked Sureshwara to elaborate on the Bhashyas, on Taittiriya and Brihadaranya Upanishads. And he reconciled all of them. And boundless compassion Adi Shankara was having towards his disciples. and he blessed Giri with instant knowledge of all Shastras when others were making fun of it. This is the generosity Adi Shankara was having. And eventually, the Giri, who was blessed by Jagadguru Adi Shankara, was known as Shankaracharya after getting sannyas diksha from Guru. And Adi Shankara was having full authority over his disciples. But he was never behaving like a dictator. There is a line between authority and dictatorship. And that line was very clearly visible in case of Adi Shankara. He was having authority, but that authority never turned into dictatorship. And when Padmapada was planning to go on pilgrimage, he did not stop him. But Padmapada lost all his writings. Then Adi Shankara, he was Ekasantagrahi. He retold the passages on the basis of his memory to Padmapada. So, that is the kind of compassion he was having towards his Shishyas, disciples. And Adi Shankara was also having clarity in the roles, the task assignment, and roles and responsibilities to be allocated to his disciples. Another important factor any leader should have is humility. And Sri Adi Shankara has unlimited humility. And in Varanasi, Adi Shankara was returning from Ganga. Then his way was blocked. And the Adi Shankara asked that person to move away. At that time, Adi Shankara was reminded about the truth about Atma being a part of Brahma. And he was a great master. And instantly he realized his folly and profundity of his statement. And he bowed low to the person who was obstructing him, and he composed 5 verses, and these are known as Manisha Panchakam. And such was the humility he was having. And then Adi Shankara gave us many books and many stotras and whatnot, apart from the commentary that was given to the Prasthanatrayam. One of them is Vivek Chudamani. In Vivek Chudamani, how a teacher should be, who a teacher is. A teacher is one who is well versed with the scriptures, who is pure in heart, in the thought, purity in mind, and the teacher should not have any desires. And a teacher has perfect knowledge of the Supreme, the Brahman, and he continuously abides in the Supreme. And the teacher has to be as calm as fire that has burnt up its fuel. And a teacher is a spontaneous ocean of mercy that needs no cause for its expression. No reason is required. That is known as Karana Rahita Dayala. It's like that. And a teacher as an intimate friend to all the good people who surrender to him. So, if you look at the leadership aspects, one is the goal setting. What is the goal that was set by Jagadguru Adi Shankara? To revive the Sanatana Dharma and empowering the self through knowledge attainment, gaining credibility, and the next aspect is the social need or social responsibility. In terms of problem solving, welfare of the society or human welfare, like Kanakadara Stotram came out because of that. During the childhood, Bala Shankara was a brahmachari. He was with a guru learning the Shastras and Vedas and all. And that time, one day, he goes for Bhiksha and he goes to a poor woman's house, and the poor woman was not having anything to offer to the brahmachari and she was feeling very bad. But finally, she was able to find an amla and she comes out and gives that amla to Bala Shankara, and then Bala Shankara felt very bad for the poor condition of the poor lady. Then immediately he prayed to Goddess Lakshmi and requested Goddess Lakshmi to bless the poor woman with wealth. But Lakshmi said that woman did not do any good thing in the previous janma, so wealth cannot be given to her. Then Aadi Shankara said, okay, if she is not, in a position to be given the wealth, because she has given the amla to me, at least using that factor, you should bless her. Then he gave the Kanakadara Stavam. Then Goddess Lakshmi was pleased, and there is a rain of golden amla, Kanakadhara. And that is the generosity, that is the daya, the kindness, the concern for the poor people, concern for the needy people. That's why we get Shankaraha, Lota Shankaraha. All his life, 32 years he lived. All the life he was making efforts to keep people happy, to keep people knowledgeable, to take away their ignorance, to take away their misery, to take away their sufferings. And then the communication. As part of that knowledge dissemination, audience specific. If you look at the literature that was given by Aadi Shankara, they cater to the audience at 3 different levels. One is the lower level, medium level and higher level. The Stotras, Prakarana Granthas, Viveka Chudamani, commentary and Bhashya to Prasthantrayam, Upanishads, Bhagavata and Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutram. Different levels. They are for people, audience at 3 different levels. And he was always giving direction to people through his teachings, through his life, and empowering people. And the sustainability aspect was also considered. That's why the 4 Amnaya Pitas that were established by Aadi Shankara thousands of years back, still they are functioning very efficiently, and they are serving the society and trying to protect the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Like this, there is so much to learn from Aadi Shankara's life and his teachings. All the Hindus, wherever we are all indebted to him, and we are Hindus today only because of Aadi Shankaracharya. So, it is the time for us to remember Aadi Shankara and pay our respect to him and follow the teachings and follow the message given by Aadi Shankara to all of us, and rededicate ourselves to the mission of protecting our Vaidika Sanatana Dharma. That is the Guru Dakshina one can give to Jagat Guru Aadi Shankaracharya, and one can rarely find such an inspiring personality. And we Hindus are very fortunate to have a Jagadguru like Aadi Shankara. So let us again pray to him to give us all the wisdom, the jnana. What we need is that bhakti, jnana, vairagya. And if we have bhakti, and if we have jnana, and we have vairagya, then ultimately, as Shankaracharya said, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Modamate, Samprapte Sannehite Trale, Nahinai Rakshati Dukturun Karane, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Modamate. So we have to pray to Govinda, and we have to make efforts to come out of this Janana Marana Kikara. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Sayanam. That's what he said. You have the birth, then death, then again birth, then again death. The cycle goes on and on and on. So one has to get out of this cycle, Janana Marana cycle, birth death cycle, and get the moksha through the path, the Advaita path that was shown to us by Jagadguru Adi Shankara. Swasti.